I want to comment only on 2 points because of the shortage of time. The one was said by a few colleagues already. We have to look on the quality of growth. Economic growth and the outlook is giving us hope, is not enough. We have to look on the economic growth per capita. And we really have to have a closer look why there is such a big difference in between the income situation of different parts of societies. So the question of inequality inside a society, I think, is crucial for coming up with better ideas for solving poverty problems. There were some hints in value-add production, for example, in investing in human capital and so on, but I think that needs close reflection how we come to better per capita growth. And maybe only one sentence on that, we have also to have a look on gender in that aspect, because we cannot exclude the potential of 50% of society. That has a big impact of growth, economic growth, and also has a big impact on how we really fight poverty on the long run. If we don't take gender seriously, I don't think we find the right answers to that issue. Second point I want to comment on is the global financial architecture debate. And I'm very thankful to Professor Rama that you were pointing out the 2 pillars, basically. The one which has to be done domestically, and the other question what has to be done on an international level. And both sides are important. They are equally important. I want to underline that. I'm very thankful for your comments on domestic resource mobilization. It's tax, yes, but it's not only tax. And by the way, it's not only VAT. There's a broad range of taxes which are not so heavily infecting at the end of the day than the poorest in a society. So we have to think about the broad range of taxes. It's about, you mentioned it quite frankly, corruption, so I quote you on that. I think it's very, very good that you were mentioning those topics. It's about illicit flows, so we have to realize that there has to be done a lot on that. On the international level, we have a lot of homework to do also, and I would agree we have to really work on debt release and do it differently. It was striking what you were saying about the private creditors in that case. We have to work for including private creditors in debt release and become quicker also with the G20 common framework, because we have to address in a proper time frame also the needs of the countries. If it's coming to the access to finance as a whole, my government is very much supporting the reform of the World Bank and also of the MDBs, because we need a broader range of possibilities to finance, on the one side, the issue of, like you were mentioning, global public goods, which are also, of course, domestic public goods. I think that's important. But don't do it on the then stopping or hindering another financing in development issues. So we need to broaden that spectrum, and therefore we need a reform of World Bank and the MDBs. And I would always subscribe that we need a strong African development bank. That's why we really engaged also in the callable capital issue yesterday. That is a hint that we really want to support that. Mm-hmm. I also could agree very much on what was said yesterday, that we have to calculate things differently. Leveraging, for example, Africans' natural resources was a big topic on the yesterday's debate, mm-hmm. and we would agree very much to have a different framing than, which is also at the end of the day counting into the rating debate. Last point, I try to be really quick, last point I want to make. We have to get simpler and easier with access to climate finance, because we know that it's also a part of how administration can handle things if they can get access to climate financing. And we have to become easier in that. We have to become more supportive with, for example, climate action window from the AFDB and technical assistance, but also from the international framework. We have to become easier in that. And for elaborating more on those topics, that's a little bit the public relation part now. We're having the Hamburg Sustainable Conference in October this year, where we want to really elaborate deeply also on those issues on global financial architecture.
Thank you.